Hi everybody and welcome back to Sanding Junction. This is going to be a two-part update for April, and the first part certainly is my ongoing attempts to lay track. So join me now, let's see how we get on. Hi everybody and welcome back to Sanding Junction. As I said earlier, it's a two-part update for April, and I do apologise in advance for the length of the videos. There's quite a bit to get in, and it's amazing really how much film you can take on just laying track. So without any further delay, I'm going to get straight into what I've been doing so far on Sanding Junction. You can be the judges. And any comments or thoughts on what I've been doing, please put them in the comment section below. I've still got a lot of track to lay, so if there's some great comments and suggestions, I can adopt those moving forward. Thanks for watching, and catch you all very, very soon. But what I am intending to do, once this has all been set up and the other end's been done too, is I want to make this area almost like a marshalling yard, not so much as a non-scenic area. I don't like the idea of it not being scenic, so I will over time ballast these out and make it look dirty and full of coal and rubbish and debris and all the sorts of things that you might find in a very heavily used marshalling yard. So that's what's going to happen, and to that end I've tried to put some nice curves and bits of bends in. It's not sort of all dead straight and boring, and I hope it'll work from that point of view. We shall see. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to carry on, and I'm going to start now probably with this point here, and then start down there and carry on with all these. More later. But I did want to bring you up to speed with what's been going on so far with the track laying. It has been a continuing baptism of fire. certainly on the point work, but I did manage to get the double slip fitted, and you can see that there's been quite a bit of work with relation to the fitting of more points. Now there are still some gluing, of course, and I apologise about the dodgy camera work. I'm trying to be as steady as I can. What I've had to do though, although I did carefully use paper templates and before that Realm Modeler Pro, I suppose at the end of the day you still cannot guarantee that everything that you designed is going to fit where you want it. And indeed here I've had to make some pretty heavy decisions sort of moving forward as I've gone. The three-way's gone. I figured that the three-way would be too close to that backboard on that last track, so I took it out and redesigned that with straight medium point curves and a couple of curve points, second radius curve points. So that's done, and I'm pretty much ready to take well, I can certainly take the downline 5 tracks all the way down to the other end, and I can also take several of the upline, although the remainder of those in the foreground here are still got to be put in because the point work for that is still being done. The feed to the ADM turntable is there, it's glued, it's finished. And what I've also wanted to show you was my plans for Ashford Station. When I first started it, it was going to be quite simply a through 2 or express 2 lines up and down, and there was going to be a run round to a single line platform. But what I've actually done is if you see here, there is a second entry exit off of the turntable, which can bring me easily onto the down line, and that means to say that the other exit, which goes through the double slip, can in fact go on the down, but it's designed really to go straight through onto the up line and through the fiddle yard, so it can pick up trains from here. Although this one will have to go all the way round to pick up trains in the fiddle yard, but I felt it was still worth putting in. So here we have it. This is it's just laying here at the moment, but you can see really what I'm thinking of doing as we go down to the end of the platforms. Now what I've actually managed to do is I've put 2 run round loops on the near side nearest the edge of the table here, and I can have one that is fed or sits on the platform. That's not a problem. And I also have a shorter platform on the other side which has also got its run round loop, and the 2 express lines. But in addition to that, if I can hold this steady enough, there's a second run round just about here. That I've got to decide if I just keep that as a spare where something can sit out the way, not being used, not in service, or whether I put an additional platform down through here. I'm not too sure yet. But if you've got any ideas on that, let me know. Put it in the comments as usual, and I can take that on board. But this platform, these are not going to be the finished platforms, of course they're not. I'm going to be making my own platforms bespoke out of for each and every section. These will be sold on eBay, including the one that I made before on No Name Junction with all the lighting on it. So they're just sitting there to give me an idea. This platform is just without the end tails is 80 inches long, so I'm assuming that I can run an engine just off the end and have at least 8 carriages along it. I've been doing a lot of time lapse on all of this point work and some of the stuff around the other side here, and I thought that I'm not sure without looking at that footage how well it looks or how well it's panned out. So I thought what I would do for this point here would just take you through the process of what I've been doing. Obviously doing these so far, I've learned a couple of things. Well, not so much learned, but become a little bit more practiced and more versed at doing it. So with that in mind, I thought I'd just walk through the what I do with these points. So I'm going to move this off of here now. What I will note is that during the course of this, I have had to keep changing the position of the tracks on the way the points are all working. So whereas you may well see parts of this video with one look, I'm pretty sure that by the time you see this video, these points will have altered quite considerably in their positioning and the way that these roads are working. Now what I've been doing also is giving a little bit of a joint opening here, not for any other reason than to allow some expansion should I need it. Marking the position of the frog wire, and also I can't get used to this, but I think that is where I will be going across. If I try and mark that, let's just put this on here for a minute. Mark the position in the center so I can put my large 10 millimeter hole. So that's fine. I'll just move the switch blades to the center, and in fact that one is a little off, so it's good, well worth checking. So yeah, that should be enough. So move that away. Just double check that that is where they are. Right, put that to one side. My drills. So this is quite a not a small hole, but a reasonable size hole. Just mark the crosshair where I need to put the point of the drill. Okay. Quick hoover up with the faithful Henry. Now before I go any further, I will remember to put the insulating frog rock joint there and a normal one there. So with that said, I can take this away, and what I want to do now is weight that one down so that that can go off. In fact, I need a slightly longer one. Just going to leave the ends exposed so that when I come to put this next one on, I can. Okay, so that can be setting and drying off. In the meantime, I can carry on with this. So the next thing is to reveal the frog wire, and as everyone tells you, and I'll be doing the same, is to be very, very careful. It's very fragile. Take that to one side. So what I have to do on each case, because I'm using servo point motors and not necessarily cobalt, I've got to remove the small wire linkage in here so that I can, that's got nothing to do with the servos, that's the spring in here in a minute, but because I'm doing all of this, I want to make the center of the point in each case on all of them and make the center live, so if over time the blades become a little dirty, contaminated, I still have a live feed and the train is not going to stall. But this has proven to be quite a task. I'm sure there's got to be very easy ways of doing this, but so far I haven't found it. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, no damage to the point, or barely. This one was probably the worst one I've done, if I'm honest with you. Okay, the last thing I've got to do here is just to wheedle out the little spring there. You can just see it's, these really are only accessible from the underneath, but unhook it from the tie bar. Okay, once you can get eyes to it, just move the tie bar enough to find its position, unhook it from there, then get it into a small pair of pliers, again being careful not to put too much damage, but there you are, there's the wire. But that's now freed up the point, and that will work with a servo, no problems at all. So the next job, which I might skip in terms of the video, depends how long it takes, just to solder up these joints. The first thing is I need to make this section of the point live, so where I've taken out the connections here, I now solder across these two, here and here, with, in this case, on this side, because it's the nearest one to me, is neutral, and then the positive on this one here, and that will then make the whole of this section here live. So however dirty in the future between here becomes, this will still be alive, because this is permanently live now, or will be. So I'm just going to put a little bit of flux on the base of the rail and set it up, ready. Okay, that's painless. Let's put that to one side for a minute. So what I've been doing is, because I'm going to be using a different system when it comes to servos. I was going to be using Cobalt IPs, and since I decided to do that, I've actually decided to not use them. I do have 20 which will be going on sale. In fact, there's only been 3 of them used. The rest are all still packaged in the box untouched. But that said, the reason that I am changing is because I've found another product which are Megapoint control systems, and it's no advert for Megapoint in terms of there's nothing there from them to me. It's just that everything I've read and looked and talked to a few people that are using them, and if you look at all the DVDs that have been put out by the company, then you will quickly understand that there are, although the servos will wear out, but they cost, you know, £1.50, £1.80 each, as opposed to £24–25 for a Cobalt IP. And they have the control systems. So I'm just going to keep on doing the mundane stuff here while I'm talking. But the mundane system, such as the Cobalts, will just do a sort of movement each way and nothing more. There are so many other advantages by having a control system that will make things faster, slower. It even puts a bounce in for semaphore signalling. So there is so much more scope. It may be a little bit more work, a bit more wiring maybe, but I think the end result will be a much more prototypical look to the layout in time. So that's what I'm pretty much decided to go for. So I've been drilling and working with a view to making that the way forward. I'm just going to right angle these because I am soldering these across the joints. And because I'm using electro-frog points, then the frog also has to be wired up accordingly. Now, I don't know too much about soldering. I do not too much about most of these things. It's only what I learned from all of you more experienced modelers and YouTubers. But someone suggests that instead of relying on the solder for the joint, you should actually try, certainly on this way of doing things, make a mechanical joint. So there is a mechanical joint. I have wrapped enough of the green around the wire here, and I shall now seal that up so it stays where it's put. Just a little bit of flux over the joints. Just run some solder in. Try and make as neat a joint as I can, because when this is gone through, when this is through the other side of the baseboard, I then want to put heat shrink on any exposed wire. So I need to make sure that that is as good as I can make it. And then there's a little bit of sharp point there which I'll just take off. Hopefully the heat shrink will go over that. Sometimes you think it will, and another time it's just, there you go, that was a lot easier to do that than try and... So that should take the heat shrink, and that's fine. So what I've got to do now is make sure that I know which side is my live. So that's the way the is on track, so I roll it to me and I will tin the flex. And tin this one too. And then I'll hopefully get this right. I keep allowing a lot of flex on this right angle, and that's because I've been pretty much doing curves, and the curve points have got a much wider section here, so I don't want it to be ungainly, unsightly through the point, so I will cut that one short and just solder these into place. Okay, that's one. I'm hoping I don't mess this up in front of camera. As I said, soldering is not my strong point, although I enjoy it, and I do aim to do the best job I can at each point. Well, I'm standing here and I realise I've been a bit of a numpty because I was doing all this point work and forgot that the video stopped recording after 20 minutes, so obviously it took a lot longer than that to do. I do apologise, and until I look this video back, I don't know how much of it you've missed. Well, that was a bit of an ordeal. I do apologise. 30 minutes plus long, and so yeah, I didn't know how much film could be taken on just doing a bit of track laying. It's amazing really how consumptive of time it is. But that all said, thanks for sticking with it. If you've got any comments and thoughts about what I've done so far, please put them in the comment section below, because I've still got an awful long way to go with track laying, so if there are some good suggestions I can adopt them moving forward. That's great, thank you very much. And on the subject of comments and likes and subscribers, I just want to say thank you very much for everybody who's come on board since the last video. It's tremendous. We're heading over 700 now and moving on towards the march towards 800 and maybe even get to 1,000 at some point. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks again for everybody who's come on board, and in anticipation of anybody else, please subscribe to the channel, support it. It's very much appreciated. So with that in mind, I haven't forgotten that I promised that I would do a weathering video on a Lima Class 33, and it's 33009. I haven't forgotten that. I still want to do that, but the track laying has been all consuming. In the part B, I want to talk about the super elevation that I've done, or am doing, so I shall film that and put that out in a short while. So until that time, thanks again, thanks for watching, thanks for the comments, and thank you for subscribing. Catch you all in part 2 of my April update. All the best for now, bye bye and thanks. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, please put them in the section below, especially those thoughts on the new layout of Sanding Junction. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and at the same time there are other videos to watch there and there. Take a look. Catch you all next time round. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.